Why America's roads and highways are designed the way they are approximately equals 1,000 words. Imagine driving across America coast to coast on highways designed over a century ago. What if I told you there's a hidden logic behind every curve, exit ramp, and interstate number? That nothing about America's roads is random and that each choice reflects history, politics, economics, and engineering trade-offs. You're watching Why It's Designed, the channel that explains the hidden logic behind the modern world. Today we're asking, why are America's roads and highways designed the way they are, and what does it tell us about the country itself? 1. How the interstate system came to be. In 1956, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the Federal Interstate Highway Act, funding over 40,000 miles of limited-access highways. The goal wasn't aesthetics, it was defense and commerce. Inspired by German Autobahns in WWI, Eisenhower wanted rapid troop movement and efficient freight transport. Driving on many interstates today, you're using a system shaped by dual political and economic logic, for markets and for wartime preparedness. Every highway number follows a pattern. East-west routes are even numbers. North-south routes are odd numbers. This helps drivers understand direction and planning at a glance, a design principle rooted in human usability. The simplicity matters for millions of travelers every day. 2. Why some roads are so wide. Have you ever noticed multi-lane highways that could almost be airports? That's not accidental. Wider roads reduce congestion but are expensive. Engineers balance traffic capacity, construction costs, land acquisition, environmental impact. Wide interstates near cities reflect anticipated growth, sometimes decades old, and the expectation that more cars would always mean more lanes. Yet, wider isn't always better. Studies show that beyond a point, more lanes can create more traffic, a phenomenon called induced demand. 3. The hidden logic of exit ramps and curves. Everything you see, from gentle curves to the height of overpasses, is part of a safety calculus. Engineers consider vehicle speed, stopping distance, line of sight, weather, topography. Exit ramps are engineered so that drivers can safely slow down without abrupt braking, a fundamental safety principle. Every angle and transition is designed to minimize risk while keeping traffic moving, the balance between physics and human behavior. For why rural roads look so different and like the national system. Rural roads often evolved incrementally, influenced by county budgets, farmland boundaries, historical settlement patterns. In many cases, older roads follow paths that existed long before automobiles, built over terrain that once supported horse-drawn wagons. This layering of history with engineering is what makes America's road network uniquely American. Conclusion of Section 1. America's highways aren't just routes, they're stories. Stories of war, commerce, human psychology, and economic forecasts written into asphalt and concrete. Next, we'll explore a related question. Why are American cities designed the way they are? Why American cities and infrastructure look the way they do before the first skyscraper rose. Urban planners, settlers, and engineers were already making decisions that shaped America's cities. Today we uncover that logic. 1. The grid system, a unique American pattern. Many American cities, from Chicago to Phoenix, are laid out in grids, straight, predictable blocks. This isn't random. It comes from an early 19th century idea called the Land Ordinance of 1785, intended to divide territory into saleable, uniform parcels. That grid pattern made land easy to sell, made navigation simpler, accelerated settlement, but it also created new problems: traffic at every intersection, heat islands in summer, distant urban sprawl. The grid reflects an early American belief in order, measurement, and expansion, baked into infrastructure long before modern planning. To suburbs and the shape of modern cities. After WWI, the U.S. expanded outward, not upward. The suburbs didn't just happen. They were engineered. Factors: affordable cars, G-bill, subsidized housing, cheap land via highway access. Cities grew outward because Americans valued space, privacy, and mobility. This pattern led to long commutes, greater dependence on roads, decentralized infrastructure. This shape makes sense if you understand the social choices underpinning it. 3. Bridges, rivers, and regional constraints. Cities like Pittsburgh, Minneapolis, San Francisco all adapted to geography. Bridges became connectors, but their designs vary. Suspension bridges for long spans, arch and beam bridges for shorter crossings. Each choice is rooted in local geology, river behavior, and budget. Case studies: Golden Gate's engineering solved wind and fog challenges Bay Area freeways. Negotiated seismic risks. Engineers constantly adapt systems to local realities. That's the heart of infrastructure logic. For why public transport looks different in the US and like older European or Asian cities. -1 US metro areas have limited transit. This wasn't accidental, it was influenced by low population density, prioritization of car travel, historical investment decisions. Lower density means transit must serve fewer riders over bigger distances, a harder design challenge than tight, walkable cities. Americans drove cars, cities followed. 5. The hidden design philosophy. When you look at America through the built world, roads, bridges, cities, transit, a pattern emerges. The design reflects values, mobility, expansion, individual choice, and adaptability. Every decision, from highway ramps to skyscraper setbacks, answers a question: how do we move people and goods most efficiently given constraints? Infrastructure is history you can ride on.